Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Was that YouTube? Give me a second here. I want to talk about a conversation I had with two very wealthy black men, a black billionaire, two black men, a billionaire and a multimillionaire. I want to talk about the conversation we had. It gave me a lot to think about, and I had to dissect the conversation. You don't always want to just jump out and make decisions at that moment based on something that you just heard. So, yeah, if y'all know me, I like to think about things. I don't just like when something happened in the news, you don't just see TJ out there like, hey, this is what I believe about that. No, I want to look into it, do a little research, find out what's going on. I'm not into the get it out first. You got to be the first. That ain't me. I make phone calls, I ask questions. I don't just start speaking. But anyway, so I had a conversation. Yeah, share this video for me. I think this is going to be one for the something you want to hear about. So, yeah, share this for me. I appreciate it. There's a lot of interesting things going on in the news. But just know this, a lot of it is all propaganda. A lot of information just being thrown out there to discourage you. A lot of disinformation out there, family. So don't go making no harsh decisions based on something you saw on TV. You always want to call me up for some coaching, a consultation, and ask before you go making a harsh decision, because that's a lot of the people that I talk to want to come to me after they've made the bad decision. It's like, I would like y'all to call me, hey, I got some money coming next week, next month, or I got some money and I want to know what to do with it, versus people calling me saying, hey, I had $1 million, $1,000, and I bought this and now I'm losing it and I want to know if you can help me save it. I was like, hold on, man, you should have never bought that. I know, but I want to know if you can help me save it. Well, no, I really don't like that kind of stuff. It's like helping people out of a bad situation that they never should have went in the first place. You buying your first house and you decide to get a 8,000 square feet, some huge giant house, and it's just you and your wife. And I would say you don't need that. That's too much house. Why do you got to spend this much money? That's too much money to spend on one house. There's so many other things you can do. So I like to talk to people before they get the money. I always say, once people get the money, they become hard to talk to. Once they get the money and they kind of already spending, it's like pulling a dog out. No offense to anybody, but it's kind of like pulling the dog away from the dog food. They like eating and you trying to take the dog food away and say, oh, wait a minute, I gave them too much. And you go to try to take that bowl back, you just might likely get bit. So that's kind of like how I feel about when I'm talking to people who already got money and they already on the spending spree. And now here I am trying to say, hey, you should not be buying these kind of things because you should be investing in these things. People get real offended. It's kind of hard to talk to those kind of people who got money. So that's what was going on. That's why I don't like really trying to help people who's in foreclosure, because, they made a bad decision. They bought a house that they couldn't afford, and now they're about to lose it. And they're more concerned about what are their friends going to think once they lost the house. What are their families going to think? That's what their biggest concern is. But it really boils down to is they shouldn't have bought it. And now you need to just let it go. So that's why I don't really like talking to those kind of people, unless they open and say, TJ, I know I messed up. What do you think? What should I do? And then it's like, okay, here's a strategy to get you out of that one and over here. And then they'd be like, okay, that makes sense. I'm with it. I love people who who know something that makes sense. When it's something, when they can understand, identify that it makes sense, I appreciate talking to them kind of people because they say, you know what, I got that money and I just kind of lost my mind and just went crazy. But now I don't want to be without, I don't want to take a complete loss. So what do you think I should do? I say, I think you may want to let that house go, let that car go or something. You know what I mean? Let this plane go, whatever they did that was kind of foolish. And then you can scale back and do this, and this. And they be like, wow, I never thought about it like that. That's cool. I appreciate it. I'm glad. Here's your money. Boom. I'm happy you came through. Thank you. I should have talked to you before I got this money. You know, I like them kind of people. But when people are trying to hold on to something based on the fact that their family is going to laugh at them if they don't have it no more, going to say, I told you so. So that make people go broke and homeless. They go homeless because they can't face the family and friends because the family be like, I told you not to buy that. So now they don't want to face the family. So anyway, that's a whole nother sidebar. Renee, how you doing, Queen? LeVar, what's up, good brother? I'm sitting there hitting these invites. Dana, Dana Dane, Donna Dimily, how are you doing? Joanne, what's going on? Donna, how you? Ain't it a birthday in order? Happy birthday to you. Yeah, I'll be looking. I see. I hope I typed happy birthday to you. You know, I'll be doing too much, but I'll be seeing some. I might see it 2 days later. It might even be your birthday. So happy birthday. Never too late to say happy birthday, happy solar returns, or whichever words we use. So I had a discussion. They flew me out to a city. I don't want to put it out there like that, but they flew me out to speak at an event about gentrification in a little small town not too long ago. And they wanted me to meet some of the elders who bought a lot of real estate and owned a lot of businesses in that town because they wanted to have some strategies on what was going on with gentrification is ravaging that city. That city used to be like a 95% African-American ran city, and now it's down to like 14%. So they pushing the blacks out of that city, and these two gentlemen own a lot of real estate. And one of the brothers is a billionaire because he owns half the real estate in town, commercial real estate in that town. And most people don't know who he is. I like that, you know. He never hit no book of Forbes or anything like that. A lot of times people become billionaires due to gentrification, pushing their prices up. So it's like you can buy a bunch of real estate in the right places. You understand what I'm saying? You can buy a lot of real estate in the right places for dirt cheap when they have no value in them to it. But all of a sudden, when gentrification rolls around or a major corporation moves into the area, let's say you paid $400,000 for a bunch of ran down vacant commercial buildings, or not even ran down, or just a bunch of vacant commercial buildings, a bunch of land on the main street through town, and you pay $400,000 over the last 25 years for all of this real estate. You just been picking it up, 15,000 here, 25,000 there, and now you own half the town because it was dirt cheap. So a lot of people got to understand that's how that works. Now, because of major corporations moving to town and all the other developers follow major corporations, now all of a sudden your net worth to where you was worth about $400,000 because you had $400,000 in real estate. Now all of a sudden, because of gentrification, your net worth just skyrocketed to now you're a billionaire in like a year and a half, just like that, y'all, because you own real estate in the right area, key real estate, and a major corporation moved in and started buying up things. So now you became instant multi-billionaire by default. Y'all hear what I just said? I need to hit you up about some strategies, brother. Let's do it. That's what I do. I'm a strategist, you know? And see, the conversations we have is things that we need to be talking about. You know, we got to understand people who own real estate in the right places. You may not be rich. You may not be successful. You may be struggling. But if you own a piece of real estate in the right place, you may blink your eye and overnight you be wealthy and you didn't see it coming. I remember in my divorce court, and how do I know how that works? Because I was in divorce court and I was fighting to save all my cheap houses that I had acquired in the Antelope Valley back in the days. And I remember, I ain't paid no more than $300,000 for all them raggedy boarded up houses back in the days that nobody really wanted. Now here I am moving my lowrider business out there to the Antelope Valley, and I got a lot of people who following me, and they kept asking about, can I hook up with a house? Can I get a house? So I start buying all these cheap houses and putting some carpet and blah, blah, blah in them. I'm paying 15 grand a piece, stuff like that. All of a sudden, I probably had $300,000 worth of these houses, if that, if not, if more, a little more than that. But all of a sudden, by the time I go into divorce court, really no value really in those houses. I'm halfway through divorce court, and they're like, Mr. Loft is a multi-millionaire. He owns all this, he got over this many millions of dollars in real estate. And I'm like, Roo? Like, what? What are you talking about? I forgot. I wasn't paying attention to the market. I was so busy trying to get out of this divorce and get through this life and run my business and build this empire that I didn't realize the market had took off because they started gentrifying this city. They started gentrifying LA and pushing people into the city where I lived at. So my housing value skyrocketed overnight. And now I'm trying to go into the divorce court lions. I ain't got no money. I'm broke. Give me my little cheap houses back. Well, Mr. Lofton, your houses are no longer worth $15,000. Your houses are worth $300,000 a piece, and you own a whole lot of them. I'm like, oh? I'm like, wow. So that's how I learned that game. But anyway, so my buddy, the guy I met, Miss Bree, how you doing? Jamal, how you doing, fam? So the guy that I met, he said he became a multi-billionaire by default because he owned key real estate in the right places. Y'all hear what I said? I'm gonna repeat it. Tony, how you doing? He owned key real estate in the right places. So anyway, the conversation I wanted to talk about, what he told me, that kind of like, I had to think about it. He said he knew I was coming to town. They bought me to come meet them two brothers, the two wealthiest black men in that whole city that owned up most of that city. Appreciate it, Miss Bree. Good to see you with the children out there. The black family always makes me there's hope. There's definitely hope for us. When I see you, I'll be like, that's a model. That's what we're supposed to look like as a family unit, husband and wife and children, black family. I love seeing that, Miss Bree. So keep on doing what you're doing. Y'all make us look real good. We got a working model to see you and the family doing y'all thing. You know what I'm saying? That's very important because you know what? You have it, but a lot of other people don't have it that wish they had it. You know what I'm saying? I would love to have a family. You know what I'm saying? I've been there, had my daughter, raised my daughter, but I didn't have that good life of, I got my wife and our children. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have that, y'all. So I may have had a whole bunch of money. I may have had a successful business, but the one thing I really wanted that I didn't have, that I would have traded all them businesses for, is to have that wife at home with our children, and we raising them up, and we going to baseball practice, basketball practice, soccer practice. You know what I'm saying? We out here throwing the football. I'm out here teaching the children how to cut grass and fix the car, and let's work on the house. I didn't have all that. I had my daughter, and it was just different for me. So people got to be careful of what they thinking about, how they like, I don't got nothing, I'm struggling. Veronique, how you doing? But trust me, you got something that somebody wish they had. And I say straight up, I didn't have that family life. I was just on the phone talking to somebody that's rising. I know y'all like, he didn't sidebar what left. I was on the phone talking to someone that's rising, and I said, out of all that I've had, all the money I've had, I've never had a real vacation in my life. Y'all hear what I just said? I mean, I took my boat down to Lake Havasu for the weekend, but all the money I had, I should have been able to take a 2-week vacation, a month, 30 days off, and fly off on a major airplane, jumping over to Africa and chilling in the Cancun Islands. I mean, the Seychelles Islands, I'm sorry. I should have been chilling in the Seychelles Islands with all the success I've seen in my life. So I noticed we got a lot of wealthy people that don't know what a real vacation look like. getting back to the target conversation. Y'all share this video for me. I appreciate y'all. And if y'all wanted to buy a copy of my book, Monetizing Gentrification, y'all can go to my website. Matter of fact, I'm glad y'all can't see my desk. It's like, where you been, TJ? You ain't cleaned this up, good buddy. Here goes the book, Monetizing Gentrification, but most importantly, Building Black Ownership. You can pick that up off of my website, thomastjlofton.com. You know, thomastjlofton.com, $32 to your door if you're in America. If you're in the US, if you're outside of the US, it's most likely going to be $50 or something to your door, but inbox me your information and we can get you a price together. But anyway, so I'm sitting down at the table in the offices of this brother, and I'm talking to two very wealthy Black brothers who, one was a billionaire and one was a multi-millionaire, and they both became super wealthy by default. That's right, we got to pull together and help us African people enrich our experiences here. Absolutely. You know, wealth ain't just about having a bunch of money. Wealth could be having a beautiful family. So those of y'all who ain't got a bunch of money, trust me, there's a bunch of problems that come with money. So I'm gonna push into that conversation. So I'm sitting there talking to the very wealthy Black man, and the billionaire, he's very adamant. He's very adamant that when I talk to people, that I give the right message. And I said, so what is the right message, sir? You know, when I'm talking to my elders, I don't care what I know. I don't care how smart I am. What's up, Kenny? I don't care how smart I am. If I'm talking to an elder, I have to listen to what he has to say. I have to listen to what they have to say, because elders carry a lot of wizardness, not wisdom, because that means you're dumb. You're so smart that you're dumb. That's what wisdom means. You dumb. Don't take that the wrong way, anybody. Just look up your words. Anyway, I was talking shit. The real word was wizard. Remember, the smartest guy in those old movies was the wizard. That's who the king talked to. He always consulted through the wizard. The wizard knew everything. So anyway, I'm talking to the elder brothers, and the brother, JD, how you doing? I'm talking to the elder brothers, and the brother told me, he was very adamant that when you out here speaking, traveling the country, TJ, don't just tell them about the wealth that they can acquire in real estate. Tell them of what happens with the wealth, with the real estate. Tell them how they're gonna have to fight to save that real estate, because he was going through a whole lot, because he owns key real estate in the right places. This brother owned all the commercial real estate on the prime street, the most expensive street in that city, where it exits the freeway and it exits down the main street, the Black Wall Street it used to be. So he owned all the land and all the commercial buildings on that block that comes off the freeway. So the gentrifiers wanted that land from him. So they're harassing him, trying to get it back and all that stuff. And he's been going through a lot. Interesting. Wisdom. Wizard is us. Absolutely. We wizards, y'all. We ain't dumb. I call certain people that, because the people who think they so smart, but they really dumb. You know, that's what that really is. I got wisdom, you know, but we got to really understand what these words mean. So anyway, he was like, TJ, man, he been going through a lot, and that's why they brought me out there, so we could put our thinking caps on and see what they wanted to see what the younger generation thought about what was going on with the older generation's real estate, because they became wealthy they acquired their wealth over so many years. You know, brother may have paid $400,000 for all of that commercial real estate. Jesse, how you doing? Lamont, how you doing? Brother may have acquired all of that real estate in the 60s and in the 70s for pennies. But now here we are in the 2000s, the 2019s, that real estate is worth 100 times more than what he paid for. So if he paid 400,000, that real estate is worth billions of dollars now, you know, and these people want that real estate back. This brother's older brother, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to put him out there, but he's very old, you know, he's very old, and they know, you know, so anyway, he going through a lot, and he wanted me to, you know, hey, I need you to deliver this message, TJ, because you got a following, you talk about the right stuff, and I want you to deliver this message. So the message was, he wanted me to talk about the drama that comes with ownership, you know? And I had to really think about that, y'all, because I don't want to discourage people from ownership. I don't ever want to discourage people from ownership. So I was like, man, I don't want to my goal is to inspire ownership. You know, if I go in there telling them both sides of the story, then they may get scared and nah, I don't got time for that. I really just keep my job and get my check every Friday or whatever. That's what a lot of people want to do. And I don't think that's cool. That easy life is hurting our community. So I'm gonna talk about that, y'all. I'm gonna talk about what the elder wanted me to talk about. And if y'all want to leave a cash at me, money cash before donation or something, so I keep sharing with y'all if that's the case, and to help my travels and my research and give books to the young people when I go speak at schools. It's a Cash App money sign Thomas T.J. Lofton. Again, Cash App is Cash App money sign Thomas T.J. Lofton. That's Loftin. But anyway, so when you own real estate, this is what the elder wanted me to tell y'all. When you own real estate in the right places, it's the boy, how you doing? When you own real estate in the right places, because of gentrification, that real estate is starting to skyrocket, right? So a lot of people was not expecting that. Like when I bought my real estate back in the days, you know, the way to make money off of real estate was through rent. And if you didn't get the rent money, if the rent money wasn't a lot back then, it really wasn't a lot. You had to have a lot of doors to get some real money. So I owned a lot of doors. But back then, when I had all those houses, the real estate, the houses were worth about 15,000, 30,000 a piece. And I only had them rented out for $400 a month. So, you know, by the time you take off the mortgage payment or something like that, I'm probably walking away with a couple $100 a month per house. So I'm not really making off like a bandit. I wasn't saying I wasn't making $1 million off of real estate. That wasn't happening. But the way that I saw for me to make money was to take out second mortgages on those houses, pull out a $25,000 loan on those houses, and let the tenant pay the mortgage back. Okay, what's going on, family? So I would take that. I didn't see no real money. You know, I may, when I had all those houses rented out, I may have came up with about hold on one second. I think I had about, I can't think about that. I think I had, with all the houses I owned, I think I probably had at least $7,000, $10,000 a month in money, rental money coming in, if that, because of the houses I had. And that wasn't no real money. So, you know, that wasn't no real money. So fast forward the story, like I said, years later, when I find myself in divorce court, I wasn't watching the values of those houses, but somebody else was. And that's why I found myself in divorce court, because they wanted them houses. You know, so fast forward the story, when you own real estate in the right places, family, and gentrification comes or redevelopment comes or they start developing your community, then your wealth will quadruple, will jump up overnight, and you won't even see it coming. So it's very important that that's why I help people to buy real estate in the right places. And that's what the elder was telling me. You know the game, and you teaching people the real game on how to make money, meaning they buying the right real estate. So that buying that right real estate is going to create problems in their life. So you need to tell them that. So I just want to tell y'all, when you own real estate in the right places, family, when you see that they're about to gentrify your neighborhood and somebody starts asking you, Canna, how you doing on YouTube? How you doing up there? I appreciate y'all tuning in. You know, when you own real estate in the right places and they start trying to gentrify those areas and you own a lot of the land, you have to increase your insurance on your properties. Y'all may want to write this down. You have to put insurance on your properties. If the building is worth $100,000, you may want to put $1 million on it. You may want to put $500,000 on it, because trust me, it's going to continue to go up. And if they ask you, why are you putting all this insurance on your properties? Just let them know, I've seen things in the past that's happened, and I just want to make sure that me and my family are protected. This real is because of gentrification is coming. I see my property values are starting to skyrocket, so I don't want nothing to happen to them, and they understand that, So you want to put you want to put large amounts of insurance on your properties. You want to make sure your properties taxes are paid up. You want to make sure your buildings are updated and look nice and new, because the city is going to start harassing the owners of properties that are in that prime real estate is what I call it. The city will harass people that have prime real estate. Why is that? Because other developers will come to your town and tell your mayor, well, you know what? That brother right there, we want all that land on that main street right there that old brother owns. You know what I'm saying? That old black man owns. And they be like, wow, he owned that real estate for about 50 years. That dude's like 80 something. Like, yeah, but we want it because we want to tear it down and put up some luxury condominiums or some luxury housing in a big old shopping center with a movie theater in there. And y'all know y'all need a movie theater out here. Y'all know we'll even throw in a skating rink or something, an ice skating rink and all of that. So, or a hotel. We would like to bring in a major hotel into this small town. And the city will be like, wow, okay, cool, we need that. So here goes, let's create some strategies to dismantle the ownership of that old person, of the people who own that real estate, that land, those commercial buildings. So they start harassing you. They start coming in, talking about, okay, this building looks like it needs to be condemned because the paint is old, right? So that's why I say we got to make sure our paint is up to date. That's why we got to, if they building brand new buildings up and down the street and they all got a new look, you may want to update your buildings and give it a new look as well. They're going to come in, they're going to harass your business owners. So if you're renting to barbershops, if you're renting to beauty salons, you got to make sure, let them know, hey, y'all need gentrification's coming. They're going to start harassing y'all. So y'all need to make sure that the floors are swept at all times. Y'all don't have old dirty towels sitting around on the floor or in the sink and all that stuff, because they're going to start fining people, coming out harassing them and writing them fines saying that this is dirty. Or even the black restaurants, they will start harassing them and saying, oh, well, I know you've always gotten an A in your window because you keep your restaurant clean. But you know what? This towel on the floor is really dirty and we don't know where that came from. So we're going to drop you down to a C. These are things that they do, y'all. But you know what? I never really told people. I didn't want to go into the negatives of that, because I know that when you go to work, you don't just go to work, punch in, and the world is a beautiful place, and you just sitting back stacking $70,000 a year from your job and everything's beautiful. You got to deal with your coworkers that want your spot, right? You got to deal with the fact that you kept applying to get a raise. Who are they? Please explain. Who are they? Who are you referring to, sis, Miss Tony? You gotta look at the fact that you're gonna have problems no matter where you go. So if you're trying to get your $50,000 from your job, your $70,000, even your $150,000, it ain't no walk in the park. It ain't coming just as simple as you just show up and collect your check. And then you got some people who may be getting the money that easy, and that's why they in this bad situation now, because they love their jobs, because it's easy. They don't have any problems, and they just sit back and collect $40,000. But now that the prices of real estate is rocketing, they having problems too. They that want our properties. The city, the developers, other big corporations will come in. Like, for example, in LA, the Rams Stadium came in, and the Rams, the Clippers, and the Chargers, and they decided they wanted to build this stadium right here in this area, in this certain area. So they'll tell the city, we can't build that stadium. In order to put that stadium there, we're going to need that land across the street where that guy has that old, that funeral home, because we don't have enough places for parking. we don't have enough places for this and that. So we need more land than what you already got. So we need you to get that land. So the Rams will come in and say, we want that land because we need more space. Just like when I was in Palmdale, California, this black guy I know, he owned the Costco. I mean, not the Costco. He owns the 99-cent stores. He got major league 99-cent stores in the city of Palmdale. It was in Lancaster, California. So all of a sudden, he'd been there for years making a killing. Money on, got the biggest 99-cent store in the Antelope Valley. He was the flagship 99-cent store when nobody else thought to maybe we should put one out there. He went out there and opened a real 99-cent store, the 50,000 square foot 99-cent store. So he was there for years stacking a monster grip, right? Pulling down millions of dollars a month. All of a sudden, Costco moves in and say, Tanya, how you doing? Tanya, is that pronounced that right? Anyway, they move in and they decide, y'all share this video for me. I appreciate it, Tanya. Thank you. All of a sudden, Costco wanted to expand, right? They was in that building. They was jealous out for the brother making all that money off of stuff that costs less than $1. So all of a sudden, Costco decides, because this brother got high traffic coming through there, Costco decided they wanted to expand. So they wanted the whole building and they wanted the 99-cent store. They wanted the building that the 99-cent store was in because they wanted to get rid of the 99-cent store. All right, Taro, how you doing, family? They wanted to get rid of the 99-cent store because he was pulling down $1 million a day probably, you know? So, and they knew it was a brother. So they said, look, we're the billion-dollar corporation and we need to expand, or we leaving Lancaster and gonna move to Palmdale. Well, the city didn't like that because Costco been there? Costco is a major chain. These are the big boys. So the city got mad. They were like, oh, we don't want you to leave because they got a big tax base. They know that people come based on laugh out loud, stocking the monster grip. Man, you are truly from the You know, I be coming up with my own language, man, everything. But yeah, I sure live. I'm a Compton guy. So that's what we used to say, though. Stacking the monster grip. That means these cats is pulling down some money, some millions of dollars. You know, monster grippers, you making like $1 million a day, you know, or something like that. But anyway, he said, Costco said they didn't like the fact that this black man was sitting 3 doors down in this shopping center and he was pulling down that $1 million a day because he was the only 99-cent store in the town. So Walmart didn't like him because Walmart started stocking cheap products too. And Costco definitely didn't like him. So all of a sudden, they told the city, hey, we're going to leave. The 99 cents, Costco told the city that we're going to leave and move to Palmdale. Now, you know, the city gets a lot of tax base from Costco, and plus it's a major chain, so they didn't want them to leave. So they said, well, we want this building that 99-cent store is in. This is power moves, y'all. These are power moves that people play with people who are renting. So let me tell you about the owner of the 99-cent store. The owner of the 99-cent store, African brother, he came in there, and when he tried to get the building, y'all know I be consulting and talking with a lot of people. But when he tried to come in there, when he came in there to get the building, they didn't want to rent to him. And then instead of just saying, no, you a brother, we don't want to rent to brothers. We don't want to rent to African-American, black people or whatever, Nigerians, Africans, whoever y'all are. We don't want to rent to none of y'all. They turned around. Instead of them just saying that, they turned around and said, nah, we need people who want to sign 10-year leases. And this building is going to be, you know, $30,000 a month to rent this big old building. We don't think you can handle that. So, all right, brother, you know, $30,000 a month, and you got to sign a 10-year lease. And then they thought he was going to walk away and leave. But then the brother came back and said, okay, I'll take it. I'll sign a 10-year lease. I'm confident the 99-cent store in Antelope Valley going to work. So they got mad at him. And then they said, oh, well, maybe I didn't make myself clear. It has to be prepaid. They wanted it prepaid, meaning we don't think just because you sign a lease, we don't know if you're going to fulfill that lease and be able to do it. So they made him come in there with like $30,000 a month. Like he had to come in there with like $5 or $6 million prepaid. You know what I'm saying? For so many, he prepaid that whole 10 years. It was either 10 years or 5 years, one of the two. And it was like, we talked about that, and he got the money. This dude was a major player in the game, and he had the money. So he was like, F them. I'm paying that. I'm going to pay that because I know I'm going to make it back. No problem. So he went in there with over $5 or $10 million and prepaid his whole lease. Now, in my mind, it's like, brother, you could be building across the street. Kathy, how you doing? You could be building a brand new shopping center across the street with that kind of money. But he was like, no, I want to get started. I want to just get this thing going today, and I'll do something later. And I was like, okay, but you should build something since now that I know you got that kind of money and you ready to go in. So he turned around and did it. He turns around and rents that building, puts up millions of dollars and locked in that either 5 or 10 year lease, right? So he turns around and gets the building, and he's renting, right? He's leasing this building. He don't own it. He's leasing it, $30,000 a month. And I know y'all see me on here talking. Don't go telling my business and asking the brothers this true, or go asking them all that stuff, because some things I shouldn't be talking about. But I'm trying to teach people of how things work, because the elder told me you need to tell them what be really going on. So I'm gonna tell it, y'all. These are the type of things that go on. So yes, you see a lot of wealthy people, but no, it ain't always a walk in the park. You got to fight for this money sometimes, y'all. Most time, African American, Black people, we got to fight for this money. So if you're pulling down some monster grip, like I was saying, you're gonna have to fight for that money, y'all. It ain't gonna just roll in. Every day somebody wants your spot. So anyway, the brother turns around and gets that building. He's in there. He's stacking a monster grip monthly. They see him, the whole state, the whole Antelope Valley realize, oh shoot, we need that 99-cent store. We heard about them. They got those in LA. We would drive to LA to go to the 99-cent store. So now we got one in the Antelope Valley, and it's a big one, a real big one, and it's next door to Walmart and Costco. So now they just stacking in there every day. Fast forward the story, dude turns around. Costco tells the city, we want that building that he's in because we want to expand. And they were like, oh, well, he's in there already. We can't do that. We can't do that. They said, look, if y'all don't get him out of there so I can expand, we moving. Plain and simple. We gonna move our major franchise to Palmdale. See, in Palmdale and Lancaster, they would always fight and try to bait those corporations to move from Palmdale to Lancaster or from Lancaster to Palmdale. But see, that's a whole nother world, y'all, that I haven't told y'all about yet. But yes, cities do fight over those major corporations. Mayors of cities will go off to different states and different cities and try to pitch to big major corporations saying, can y'all bring y'all franchise to my city and I'll give y'all a tax break and I'll do this and I'll do that. So y'all crying about how Amazon don't pay no taxes. Y'all don't need to be complaining about Amazon. You need to be talking to the cities that Amazon is operating out of, because they're the reason why. So anyway, getting back to my story, they said, okay, we don't want you to leave. So they started harassing the brother who owned the 99-cent store. So I looked up and I'm hearing about this. He telling me what's going on. And he like, man, Costco, it's all about Costco wants to expand. So his landlord came after him and said he wants to break his lease. He was like, what? You want to break my lease? You want me out of here? You want to break my lease? Homeboy was like, hold on, partner. You made me prepay. You made me sign a 10-year lease. So you're going to have to pay me out for those 10 years if you break this lease. So now, all of a sudden, they like, damn, landlord, like, they don't want to get that money back. And Costco wasn't willing to put that money up because Costco didn't know he prepaid. And they didn't know. So he went and hired his attorney, and his attorney got involved and said, if y'all want him to leave, y'all gonna have to give him this much money or he ain't going nowhere. And they wasn't trying to pay him that kind of money because Costco being there, that was pointless. It wasn't no big deal. Costco wasn't bringing in that kind of money where the city was willing to pay a Black man all this money. Remember, the goal was to run the Black man out of business so that he can't continue to make the wealth. But now you're going to break his lease, and now you're going to have to give him the wealth that you didn't want him to have. So fast forward, just getting back to the story, what is the purpose of this story? Costco got mad, and they was like, we're going to leave. Now, on the other side of Costco, there was a major park, right? Y'all hear what I said? There was a major park on the other side of Costco, the Lancaster City Park, big park. You know what I'm saying? So what ended up happening was when the brother fought that major fight, and I talked to the brother. See, this is what I like about it. Serious, how you doing? The brother turned around. The brother turned around and during the fight, he knew that he may lose this fight, right? Because they being extremely racist. They own the judges there. They got this and that, the attorneys, the police, and he may lose the battle some way or another. So the brother turns around, listen to me, we talk. The brother goes to Palmdale, California, which they had their hands wide open. Come on out here. And he bought a commercial building in an area that the people were starting to pull out of, but it was right off the freeway. So he bought the building. He bought like a 50,000 square foot commercial building that sit right next to the freeway. And the next thing you know, he opened that one up, and that one started bringing down a Monster Grip also. Because 99-cent stores back in those days was a great investment. They was one of the best investments going on. You know, so fast forward the story. Now he got two streams of income coming in. He got one in Lancaster where he's having a whole lot of problems, and then he got one in the city of Palmdale, and he breaking the money in, y'all. They bringing the money in by the truckload every day, literally. He's just bringing in major amounts of money. Lauren, how you doing? Y'all share this video for me if y'all don't mind. So fast, getting back to the story, he ends up winning. The city realizes they done created a monster. They trying to shut the brother down, but the brother ain't stupid. He got friends. He know who to talk to. He got guidance strategists on his team. So he turns around and goes and rents. He goes and buys another building cash. He buy the building. He ain't finna play this rent stuff no more. So he buys the building. Broadway, how you doing? Urbpreneur, how you doing? So he turns around and buys that building. And he got both of them bringing down monster amounts of money, a Monster Grip a month, which means probably like $1 million a day. So what ends up happening was the city said, damn it, we messing with the wrong guy. This guy started expanding on us. So we better leave him alone. So they had to go back to, now he's becoming that ideal business owner that Costco was. Because now, keep in mind, 99-cent stores wasn't really popping back in those days. But since this brother's showing them that the 99-cent store is a major tax-based revenue for the city, they started realizing we don't want him to leave. He bringing down money like that. He done opened up a second Costco. I mean, he done opened up a second 99-cent store out here. So that made them say, whoa, where Costco only had one store. 99-cent store now has two stores. So the city realized, well, wait a minute. This 99-cent store stuff making a lot of money too. So they've researched the 99-cent store, and this chain has grown overnight. It came in by surprise. Kat, how you doing? So what ended up happening was they left the brother alone, and he kept both of those stores pumping hard. So now now Costco pulls a major gangster move because they mad, and the city couldn't produce. So Costco told the city, well, we next to that park. Why don't you give us some of that land in that park so that we can expand our building? We need that park, got all that acreage. That's a baseball field on side of us or whatever it was. Why don't you eliminate that baseball field and let us come over there and give us like an acre or something like that so we can expand our building, expand our parking lot and all of that. Man, the city said, done. Boy, they created a fire. They said, screw the public. It's easier to say screw the public than it is to deal with another billionaire. Y'all hear what I just said? So fast forward the story. They done chopped off an acre out of the park or something like that and expanded to Costco. And it was like, that's jacked up because people fill that parking lot, that park up every weekend. So for a while, I said, I ain't messing with Costco. I had a card for Costco. I got rid of my card. And then all of a sudden, Sam's Club moved in. So I got rid of my Costco card and got me a Sam's Club card because I didn't like that, what they was doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we got to support, right? So I said, fuck Costco. I got rid of my Costco card. You know, that was years ago. So if you're looking at me like, well, why are you in Costco the other day? I probably did. Yeah, I did get it because it wasn't one out here. It wasn't a Sam's Club in the area that I lived in or whatever. But anyway, major moves going on, y'all. So it's a lot. No matter what it is, family, you just got to know that you in the right position, owning land, owning houses, owning real estate, commercial real estate in the right areas will bring in haters, and they will go out of their way to try to dismantle your business so that they can take it. So just like it ain't no difference. It's like if you got a job, haters is gonna want your position. You may be the manager, and your workers is gonna do what it takes to make you look bad, so that they can take your position at your job. So no matter where you go, family, it is common to have to fight for whatever it is you get. So having a business ain't no difference. But I say that I'd rather be in an ownership position, fighting to save my business, fighting to save my houses, fighting to save my commercial buildings, versus sitting here trying to fight and save my job, working for someone else, making them wealthy. I'm not doing that. I'd rather be over here fighting with these cities and all these other corporations to keep my building, to keep my business going. Why is that? Because I can't never get fired. I don't have to hold my head down when I own the building. I don't have to be quiet. I don't have to worry about, oh, you can't be saying that. Oh, you can't say that. Oh, you shouldn't have said that. I don't have to worry about that when I'm a business owner. I say whatever I want to say, and that's what it is, because they can't take it from me. They can't take nothing from me. They can't take the building because I'm a manufacturer. I manufacture my own parts. So they'll come in and they'll try to make phone calls and find out where you buying your supplies from. And then they'll try to call them and say, hey, well, we need you to stop selling him stuff. Well, if I was buying stuff from other people and selling it, and that's where the base of my money was coming from, then they can get away with that and shut a person down. But that's why when you hear me speaking, I say, manufacture everything you sell. So if you're making a lot of money off of this particular product, like I was spending a lot of money towing cars. So if that tow truck company decided we no longer going to do business with TJ, we're going to drop them, they could have seriously hurt me, because I'm spending a lot of money bringing cars back into California at the time. So if the tow truck company said, you know what, we got a phone call, it's a white power situation, we finna lock TJ out because he's in LA making too much money and all of that with these old classic cars, but he's been using that tow truck company, we're gonna lock him out. I was like, not gonna happen. I saw that coming 20 miles away, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna start buying my own tow trucks. I'm gonna start giving my homeboys the keys to the tow trucks and sending them out of state, and the people I trust. So if anybody stop you, if anybody say anything to you, if anything happen, anything, you call me. I want to know even anything. If whatever the stupidest comments that people make to you on the highway, I need to know about that. If somebody approach you, try to get you to come work for them, I need to know about that. Who is it? I appreciate that, sis. So I started buying tow trucks. I started buying these 10-car carriers. I started buying these 3-car carriers, this 1-car carrier. I started buying all of these, everything that moves a car. I bought one. I bought more than one. And I gave away dozens of jobs to brothers to drive those trucks to go get them. And I also went back into the community and I told my homeboys that had money, I say, look, the money is in tow trucks now. We spending thousands of dollars a month towing cars back. So we probably spending $1 million a year between all 5 of us. You know what I'm saying? Back then, it was me and my homeboys that I helped. It was about 5 of us that had trucks, and we would be buying these cars. So I would partner up with brothers. People would call me on the East Coast and say, man, I got 50, 64 Chevy, 59 through 64 Chevys. I got about 50 of them sitting on my barn in my ranch. And I'd be like, damn. I ain't got 50. And I remember it's costing me $1,000 per car and $300 per car, $1,000 to tow each car back and $300 for each car. And he got 50 of them. So now I got to fork out a lot of money. So I reached back to the community and would call my homeboys that I helped start businesses and say, let's go in on getting these 50 cars. And then I got another guy who got 70 in Tennessee. And I got this guy, he's in Kentucky. And we need to get the homies to go out there and get these cars. So we need to buy some more tow trucks because this is becoming the norm. You hear what I said, y'all? This is becoming the norm. So we spending a lot of, we all spending a lot of money towing these cars back. Now, these white people started getting very jealous, start making these comments, start asking me personal questions. Where's your money really coming from? You know, well, what kind of people is buying these cars? Are these drug dealers and stuff like that? I'm like, okay, it's time for him to go. We got to get rid of this guy because he's going to tell some, he's telling us he's going to make up something. He's going to tell some stories and get people looking at me that I don't need looking at me, because when white folks start looking at you, even if you ain't doing that, they're going to find something that you're doing. They're going to make you be doing something, you know, and they can put something on you, and it's your way. It's up to you to come up with an attorney and fight to get your name cleared, to get your stuff back. So I was like, I can't afford to do that. So it was easier for me to go out, call my homeboy, say, let's buy a bunch of tow trucks and let's get some of the homies to get on the highway and go get those cars. So that's what we started doing. And man, I ain't had no more problems after that with dealing with white people telling me stuff. So that's my reason why I say, whatever you do, if you provide a service, if you sell something, you need to own whatever you use to provide that service. If you're cutting hair, you need to be manufacturing your own clippers, your own scissors, your own brushes and combs. Manufacture it yourself. Put your name on it. If you got a tow truck, if you bringing cars back and you got a tow truck company, you need to start buying your own tow trucks. You hear what I said? And eventually the game was, we need to start manufacturing our own tow trucks. Y'all hear what I just said? Because I had people, I would go into the tow truck dealers and I would start buying trucks. Oh man, I got so many stories, y'all. But the whole purpose of me having this conversation is the elders wanted me to tell y'all, yes, entrepreneurship and real estate ownership can make you wealthy, but it also comes with a lot of headaches. So for me, once I realized that somebody is watching me, multiple people are watching me, multiple people are going to try to figure out how to take my business, how to shut me down, that made me move around differently. Y'all hear what I said? I had to move around differently. So what did I do? I stopped doing a lot of certain things. I had to dot all my I's and cross all my T's. I had to limit who I talked to. You know what I'm saying? I had to tighten my stuff up, make sure all my trucks had new tires on them, make sure all my trucks had fresh paints on them, was clean, make sure I had a contract with my homeboy's car wash. You wash my trucks all the time, keep my trucks washed all the time. I had to make sure I got chrome rims on my truck, so they couldn't say, oh, his trucks are dangerous and they shouldn't be on the highway, because my shit was our stuff was some of the freshest stuff out there. So in business, family, you have to make sure you are at the top of your game. Just like they say, when you get a job, when you go to get you a job and all of that stuff, you have to be the smartest guy there. You got to do double or triple the work. Well, it actually works that same way in business. But here's the thing. You make way more money in business. You are working in your job to keep your job. So you got to bust your ass, or whatever they call it. You got to work hard to keep that job. So you got to stay doing things to make your boss want to keep you there. It works the same way with your business. You got to work hard. No, business owners, employees put in work, right? Y'all hear this? Y'all remember this? Employees put in work. So they got to go take care of this work. But business owners handle business. So people say, what you working on? I say, I'm not working. I'm handling business. TJ, what is that you working on over there? You going to work? No, I don't work. I got a business. I'm going to handle some business today. That's what I'm going to do. So when you own your own business, you have to handle your business, and you have to always be thinking about expansions. You have to always be thinking about who's watching you. You have somebody always watching you. So you got to be watching them to make sure. And when you see them watching you, you start looking around and ask yourself, well, what do they see? It's like playing chess. Everybody should learn how to play chess. So when you playing chess, you know they're after your king. You know you do not want them to take your queen. You know you don't want to lose too much stuff while they trying to take your queen. I mean, your king. But at the same time, you got to take their king. And you know that queen is a problem. That queen can knock you out. So you got to get rid of that queen as early as possible. You got to get them rooks is dangerous. Them bishops is a problem. So you got to watch all of those people because they coming at you to take that king out and eliminate your whole team around you. So you got to learn how to play. You got to learn offense and defense all at the same time. So that's why I recommend, again, everybody need to learn how to play chess. Start your children at 2 years old. Give them some chess pieces to play because it shows them strategies. It comes with solutions. You learn solutions. That's why I learned all this at a very young age. So every day I walk out the door, I'm playing a game of chess because I know somebody's looking to get me. I know somebody's after me because I'm the king at what I do. So I'm always watching who's after me. Who is this looking at me today? Oh, wait a minute. I see that queen. She see me. She waiting on me to step out on this street so she could take me out. Oh, I see that rook over there. He think he waiting on me to step on this other street so he could take me out also. Wait a minute. Look at this knight or this other piece. He think he gonna do that U-shaped thing and catch me not paying attention. So when I walk out the door, I'm always paying attention. And then it's so cold that I don't go certain places. I don't do certain things. So I don't drive cars. Now that's a whole nother Facebook Live because I don't drive certain cars. Because I know these cars are notoriously driven by African Americans. So most likely they're going to jack this car. Every day they see these cars, they're going to think this is a drug dealer driving this car or something like that. So I just don't even drive them kind of cars. When you see me rolling, you don't see me pushing no Dodge Chargers and no Challengers and no Demons and them Camaros and them other souped up racing cars because they know these are African American gangsters or something. These guys drive these cars that's harass them. I'm like, nope. You're not going to see TJ driving one of those, y'all, because I understand these cars are targeted, right? What are you going to see me driving? You're going to see me driving in a Toyota Camry, a Corolla. I love them Corollas, though, y'all. You're going to see me in an Altima, something like that. You're going to very rarely see me pushing something big. Every blue moon, you may see me driving a little Mercedes, but it ain't going to be new. It ain't going to be new. It's going to be something that I done got from the auction, and I might not have it that long. You know what I'm saying? Because I know who I am. I'm the king, and they watch it. So I have to move around a little differently so I can deliver these messages to y'all. So anyway, in entrepreneurship, you fighting to create wealth. You're not fighting to protect your $70,000 job. You're fighting to keep your wealth because they know your capabilities. They know if you talk to TJ, if you have that entrepreneurship discussion with TJ, then your little business that you pulling down a $90,000, $110,000 a year may quickly jump up to $110 million with the right coaching from a mastermind, a person who's been there and done that, named TJ. This is what I do, y'all. This is why I'm going to write this book called Monetizing Gentrification and Building Black Ownership, because I knew early on that people are going to have problems with gentrification. But I also wanted y'all to know we cannot look at gentrification and not think of the wealth that it's creating at the same time. Now, I ain't talking about us going in our own neighborhoods, gentrifying our own neighborhoods. I'm saying that people who are gentrifying our neighborhoods is pushing all the real estate prices up. Y'all hear what I just said? So that's what I mean by monetizing it. If we buy property in the right areas around us that are being gentrified in the areas, and we buy the right properties, not gentrifying ourselves, but we buy the right properties in these areas, we can create large amounts of wealth. So that's why I wrote the book called Monetizing Gentrification, Building Black Ownership. So anyway, families, it's been an hour and I overtalked it like I normally do, but I just wanted to share that with y'all. Remember, the purpose of this video was the elder wanted me to say, hey, y'all, wealth comes with high costs. It comes with problems, but it's so worth it, y'all. It's very worth it. Instagram, you're about to go out. If you need to book me to come out and speak at your next event, ThomasTJLofton.com, 310-619-3954. Monetizing Gentrification, Building Black Ownership, ThomasTJLofton.com, LOFTIN. All right, family, I appreciate y'all on Instagram. So that's how I know I've been speaking an hour, so I need to be speaking less than an hour. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, y'all, I'm about to get up out of here. I got to handle my business because that's what I do. And I just wanted to share that with y'all because I was thinking about what the elder told me. Daniela, how you doing? He wanted me to let y'all know that business ownership creates a lot of wealth, but it also comes with a lot of problems. So we got to learn how to play chess, y'all. And when you learn how to play chess, that's how you know you living in your life, because it's becoming illegal. It's illegal to be black. So we can't say that, well, I don't want to start a business because I don't want those kind of problems. Well, when I woke up this morning, I looked in the mirror and said, oh, I'm black. So that came with a lot of problems. You're a black man in America, you're a black woman in America, that comes with a lot of problems by default because you got lucky. You're lucky to be black. It has everybody hate people that's black because they know we are the true leaders. So fast forward the story, they know we bigger, we better, we faster, we smarter, we do everything, and they know that. So no matter what, family, it's worth it. It's worth it being black. It's worth it being a business owner. And I would never go back. I would never wish I was white. I would never wish I didn't have my business. I had a job. I would never wish that I was appreciate you too, LeVar. Appreciate all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep on doing what y'all doing. If y'all need some help turning this thing around and starting another business or starting a business or investing in some real estate or something, y'all reach out to me. See you in Atlanta on the 1st. Good brother. There you go. I will be in Atlanta on the 1st at the African Jelly, 6:30 p.m. right there with my good brother Ayatero. I will also be there on the 3rd, November the 3rd at the Black Dot Bookstore. That one's $25, but the one on the 1st is a book signing. And we're gonna go to there on the 1st. Family, we're gonna sit there and talk. We're gonna talk about what's going on. It's more of a intimate conversation, but it's gonna be an ongoing conversation because we gotta really break this stuff down, family. It's more than me trying to teach y'all how to be wealthy. It's more than me. I gotta teach y'all how to maintain the wealth too, because that's the harder part. Once you get that 10 million, now you gotta protect that 10 million. Once you get that money, your whole world changes. So we gotta talk about what does that look like, family. Everybody's on tour talking about how to get wealth, but they ain't talking about the problems that come with wealth, like I just talked about. So those are the things that we're gonna be talking about at the African Jelly. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, on November 1st in Atlanta. We gonna chop it up. This is something new for me where we just gonna sit down. I haven't done this in a long time, matter of fact. We just gonna sit down and we're gonna talk about entrepreneurship. We're gonna talk about home ownership. You're gonna be able to get involved in the conversation and tell me what's going on with you. If you come in there just to promote something, that ain't what we want from you. We want you to come in there and oh, this is what's happening over on this side of town. This is what's happening in this state, that we all need to hear about it, because most likely I'm gonna have a solution to that, because I didn't learn that they was doing that in DC, and this is what we did to solve that problem. Or they was doing that in Texas, and now they're trying it out on Atlanta or something like that. So strategies, family, strategies and solutions is what we're gonna be talking about on the 1st. This Sunday, I'm in Los Angeles, California. I'll be at Simply Wholesome on the patio doing another book signing and Q&A. We're going to be chopping it up there, talking about the real estate. That is the wealthiest black community. Simply Wholesome is sitting in the wealthiest black community in America, family. And that black-owned restaurant is seeing some major changes where the neighborhoods are being gentrified around it. But we putting up a major fight because people ain't trying to give up that area because they got money over there. But money without strategies don't mean nothing. Y'all hear what I said? Money without strategies don't mean nothing. I know millionaires and billionaires that are being pushed out too because they don't know what to do. So anyway, fast forward to the story, family. Check out my Facebook page, my website, thomastjlofton.com, and go ahead and sign up for some of these events. And if you like to bring me out to speak at one of your events, please hit me up, area code 310-619-3954. Again, let me write it down. 310-619-3954. I'm gonna write that one on here. 310-619-3954. Juanita, how you doing, fam? You know what I'm saying? So y'all reach out to me, family. And if you like to get a copy of this book, Monetizing Gentrification, you can go to my website as well, just like you can go in there and book me as well. They got a booking information on there, but Monetizing Gentrification and Building Black Ownership, family. Gentrification is a bad thing, family, but at the same time, we cannot forget the fact that it's making a lot of wealth around it. We're not gentrifying our own people, family. We're just reaping the benefits off of it so we can afford to fight back. You got to fight fire with fire sometimes, family. You got to have money to fight back. Now, you can't be sitting there thinking just because 10 of y'all showed up or 500 people showed up. You have to have money to fight back, family. So that means us starting businesses in these gentrified areas. Don't let them push us out. We got to go in there and start businesses in these areas. We got to buy the houses in those areas. We can't let them push us out. So anyway, family, we're going to be talking about solutions and strategies at this Sunday at Simply Wholesome in Los Angeles, California, 2 to 4. And then we're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia on the 1st, talking solutions and strategies again at Brother Ayatero's spot, the African Jelly. We're going to be breaking it down there, family. And then on November 3rd, I'll be at the Black Dot Bookstore in Lithonia, Georgia, and we're going to be talking about it there. And on Black Friday after Thanksgiving, I'll be in South Carolina, and we're going to be talking about commercial real estate out there, y'all, because it's a lot of affordable commercial real estate in the South. So we got to talk about that, family, starting businesses and everything else. So peace, family. I appreciate y'all. I'm out of here.